I'm presuming there was a museum here before 18 years ago. Was it just in a different place?
There wasn't.
There wasn't.
No.
There was
not
an
at all.
Abe Lincoln Museum.
No, so before that, we were the Illinois State Historical Library.
Okay.
So we have been preserving since the 1890s Illinois history. So we actually have over 13 million items that document Illinois and really the nation's history, right? American history. And in addition to that, of course, about 50,000 of those items document Abraham Lincoln and his life and times and family.
And they're all stored here?
They're all stored here. Isn't that cool?
That's really cool.
I mean, I have to say, look, the best part about my job is that, you know, my office is like maybe 100 feet from the Emancipation Proclamation.
That's crazy.
And the Gettysburg Address and the 13th Amendment, all signed by Lincoln. Like, how cool is that?
Right.
It's never one of those things that gets old about the job. So the Gettysburg mural is meant to be a homage to the cyclorama at Gettysburg.
Yeah.
So yeah, you see the battle. And they're still burying the dead, actually, when Lincoln does the dedication.
Wow.
Lincoln is actually not the only speaker. He wasn't even the main speaker that day. And in about 272 words, he says what Edward Everett, the main speaker, takes about 2 hours to say.
Is that right?
Yeah, Lincoln speaks for about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. But Everett is so moved by Lincoln's remarks that he asked Lincoln to write a copy down for him that he could have and he could sell for the benefit of soldiers.
Oh, good.
And auction off. And so he actually does that. Lincoln writes it down, and Edward binds his book, pages 1 through 56, and Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is pages 57 and 58.
Is that right?
And so that's the version we have. So if
Right.
you look on ours, you can see in the tiny corner, pages 57 and 58, the Gettysburg Address, written in Lincoln's own hand.
Wow.
Well, of course, though, it's Lincoln's last speech that gets him in the most trouble. John Wilkes Booth, who actually is there, he thinks he's just going to capture the president and hold him for ransom. But instead, he hears the speech where Lincoln's talking about giving black men who had fought in the war the right to vote. He's considering it. And Booth is so outraged by it that he decides to go from kidnapping to assassinating the president.
Who's with him? Do we know?
Yeah, so that is Colonel Rathbone. His kind of would-be attendant, his girlfriend, courting Clara. And he actually tries to stop Booth and is unable to. And they wrestle back and forth. Booth actually gets caught as he's coming down on the stage. Lincoln always wanted to be buried at a nice, peaceful place like Oak Ridge. And Mary knows this. Except for the city fathers know, because of who Lincoln is, that he's going to be, people are going to take pilgrimages to come see his tomb. And so they want him buried right downtown, right next to the old state capitol we have today. And Mary says, absolutely not. He wanted to be at a peaceful place with his family. And so she threatens them and writes all these letters. The one time she really comes out of her mourning, she says, if you do not bury him in Springfield at Oak Ridge, which at this point is a mile outside of Springfield, not in the kind of main town property, if you don't bury him there, then I will leave his body in Washington, D.C. And I'll bury him in the tomb that they thought George Washington would be buried in. And they decided to, of course, bury him at Oak Ridge Cemetery, along with 3 of his sons. And of course, Robert is buried in Arlington.
Oh, really?
He is. He's by his wife's request, he's buried at Arlington National Cemetery.
This is huge.
But again, you're meant to be like a mourner, walking through the old state capitol, experiencing Lincoln's death just as they would have.
So good. They look kind of real.
They do. I mean,
they really do.
They modeled them after actual photographs.
Yeah, the eyes are killing me.
Yeah. I think people are most surprised by that all of the figurines are very lifelike. I mean, they really spent time doing the detail to make you feel like you were walking through an actual person's life.